Technically shouldn't use the same, but whatever. Am I just gonna leave this thing on all day? No, I don't want to skip. Never turn the fire off. It's not letting me. Oh, there it is. I want to turn this off. Oh, God.
Red sediment, just as I suspected. This liquid is of organic origin. It contains some alkaloid. Most likely it is unstable, and that is why there is a quantity of gold dust to prevent contamination. This
Wait.
mixture is probably a fertilizer. Someone was carrying out unusual experiments in the garden's laboratory.
Well, it's not white studies. Set up the alkaloid from the chemical laboratory and the caterpillars and perform the experiment with the deadly plants. Alright.
According to the deadly plants information, in order to perform our experiment, we will need fertilizer and food. Caterpillars should do nicely.
Evidence required. Wait, what?
My analysis table. It is useful. According to the deadly plants information, in order to perform our experiment, we will need fertilizer and food. Caterpillars should do nicely.
Where we have the caterpillars. We need fertilizer? What? Now I'm annoyed. We don't have everything we need. Find the plant that was used, find out who killed, set up an alkaline chemical laboratory in the caterpillars, and perform an experiment with the deadly plants. I don't understand why I don't. What I don't have here. I need fertilizer. I guess we can do it at the lab at that other place. Ow! This one's gonna take forever. This is gonna be a long ride. Told you this is the longest ride ever.
This is a table for experiments. It resembles my own.
Only this one is kept in good order, Holmes.
That's all I can do with it? Okay. So, can't use the phonograph. I've already done that. Unless there was something I missed or something. No. This one's starting to get a little bit harder here. What was in that other place? Need some fertilizer. Ow.
Are you aware of the Divine Syndicate?
The Divine what? Is this a joke?
No, I am quite serious.
What a ridiculous name. Anyway, I have never heard of this syndicate.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
Don't make me punch you, dog! Help, I'm being attacked by a white, fluffy, adorable monstrosity. I'm being attacked by a beautiful, fluffy cotton ball.
Tell me, have you ever heard of the Divine Syndicate?
No, I cannot say that I have.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.
Ow! Watson, you better get out of my way. I don't know where I can get some fertilizer. What is this?
A task list for Albert, compiled by Martin Hamish. Sweep out the palm house, scrub the toilets, clean the storage shed tools.
Look, just looking for fertilizer. Bowser, do you know where there's any fertilizer? All these plants and I can't find any fertilizer. Somehow I got turned around. Alright, I'm gonna be right back. I need to take the dog outside, so I shall return shortly. razor nails, man. Alright. Back to the game. So we were doing alright. And then we've kind of stalled. I mean, it's not a huge stall. We need fertilizer. Don't necessarily know where to get fertilizer.
This certificate belongs to Martin Hamish. He won a horticultural competition. This poster is for an exhibition that Martin Hamish was directing, but it had nothing to do with Kew Gardens.
Okay, alright, well.
We can see the interior of the Colonial Collection Room from this window.
Well then.
An award presented to Martin Hamish for Best Grower of the Year. A master's degree diploma. It belongs to Martin Hamish.
How did I miss all this stuff earlier? I thoroughly missed it. You seen any fertilizer, Watson? Running around in circles. Get out of my way, Watson. Alright, so yeah, that's where he was stuck. Hamish is looking pretty guilty right now, or whatever his name is. Let's see if we can talk to this girl again. She hasn't really given us much. Is she not in here? She's in here. Oh, I just did a lap. WTF. There she is.
The Divine Syndicate. Does that name mean anything to you, by any chance?
Not at all. But it is a very pretty name.
Thank you, miss.
Alright, well. Right now. We are stuck. In a sense. This was supposed to be of interest earlier.
A ventilation system. It should regulate the temperature of the staff buildings.
Ow, my back. You enjoying that leaf you found? I don't even know how leaves got out there. Like, how do leaf, like, so weird. If there's a leaf there, you find it. Alright. So we're gonna do something else. I'm gonna try one more thing. When that doesn't work, out of my way. Obviously, he was killed with some sort of gas to the ventilation system. All that stuff's here. There's no fertilizer anywhere to be found that I can take and use. It's frustrating.
Dry trop.
That's not what I meant to do. Alright, we're out of here. We're going back to the Divine Syndicate and see if we can use their little room. Maybe that's where it is. It's already 7 o'clock. I've not been paying much attention.
This substance is an alkaloid, the same as in the bottle we found in the bushes at Kew Gardens. Perfect, Watson. We can begin our experiment.
Alright. We're gonna do it here. Can we do it here? Oh my god. Oh my god. You wouldn't let me take it earlier when I was here. And you made me come back to get it. Now I gotta go back to do the experiment. God. All is travel. Bowser, get your toy. Get your toy. Not my sock. Get your toy. No! Bowser, get your toy. Get your toy. Or don't. I don't care. Do what you want. I'm obviously not in charge here. Alright, so now back to what I wanted to do 10 minutes ago.
I imagine that one of these plants would be capable of releasing a toxic vapor. I need to find out exactly how it could be done. I shall begin now. Watson, if you are at all optimistic to have dinner this evening, then I'd recommend that you put on the gas mask.
Alright, well, let's take this one. What? You can just take it? Pin.
No reaction.
Alright, well, maybe I gotta put the pen in something first. Ooh.
It appears to have fallen inactive. My word! It shot a spike at me after I stabbed it with a pin. I imagined that its reaction would be ferocious if I increased the strength of my attack. My word!
Alright, well, let's increase the attack. Nothing else I can do with the pin. I can put it back. That's what I was trying to do. Alright, liquid with alkaloid.
This plant becomes inactive after being drenched with alkaloid. This plant becomes inactive after being drenched with alkaloid. It appears to open after being soaked with alkaloid. It closed again. I believe I saw a small cloud of gas. I wonder what secrets this plant is hiding. Perhaps if we agitate it to a greater extent whilst it is opened, it will reveal a little more.
Whilst. Indeed, indeed, indeed. So let's open it.
It appears to... It closed again. I believe I saw a small cloud of gas. I wonder what secrets this plant is hiding. Perhaps if we agitate it to a greater extent whilst it is opened, it will reveal a little more.
Did you see how that plant was just like, nope, I want this worm. I want this worm.
How interesting. What a strong and effective defensive mechanism. I am interested in what might occur if the prickly plant should shoot at it.
Prickly. What?
I find predators utterly fascinating. This plant seems to have had no reaction from the caterpillars. It appears to open after being soaked with alkaloid. This plant becomes inactive after being...
Yep. Didn't mean to do that.
This plant seems to have had no reaction from the caterpillars. Toxic gas with spores. Extraordinary. The plants would be capable of killing only if they were directly
Get your
next to
toy.
the victim.
Get your
and
toy.
stimulated
Get
at
your
precisely
toy.
the right moment.
Get your toy.
Let us take our caterpillars to the Colonial Collection Room. We may see things more clearly there.
It is too early, Watson. Our suspects will be there. Let us investigate Kew Gardens one more time and ask some questions.
Oh my... Oh, stop it. You're getting violent. Deadly precision. The Divine Syndicate left the plants at Kew Gardens in order to murder Dune at the later date. Someone stole the deadly plants before the Divine Syndicate were able to. Alright. You're just being a bundle of fun right now. You are just a bundle of fun at all times. Don't ask me why you're doing it. I do not know. And now for the longest load location ever. All right.
Can you tell me if you saw Mr. Montague Dunn on the day of his death?
Yes, of course. I met him, and we went to see Albert, his son, at around 9:30. He appeared quite calm.
What were you doing on the morning of the accident?
After paying multiple visits to Albert, I had a little talk with Miss White. Then I returned to my desk to complete some paperwork. Suddenly, I observed that Mr. Dunn was not feeling well, so I ran immediately to fetch Albert. I clearly remember that it was around 10:30, for I was late that morning.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
I'm a dog. I'm attacking you.
Your father's death does seem highly suspicious. What were your movements here on that day?
Suspicious. Well, I was working in the seed house, taking care of Lysa, something, or Lear Pontus, or... No, wait. Ah, these Latin names. And I spent so many hours trying to memorize them.
Did you see your father that day?
Yes, he came here with Mr. Hamish for his weekly visit. There was nothing unusual about that.
And then?
Nothing. They stepped out to the backyard. It was perhaps 20 minutes before 10 o'clock. Then about 10 minutes later, I saw my father heading for the dry tropics room while Mr. Hamish returned here.
And Mr. Hamish and Miss White, what were they both doing that morning?
Mr. Hamish visited me a couple of times. I also saw him returning from talking with Miss White, and that was at 10 minutes past 10. But then he ran back here to me to tell me that my father was feeling unwell. We hurried across to the water lily room, and I found my father lying dead on the floor. Oh my God.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.
If you can tell, I don't know. I've kind of hit my limit of today for
Can you tell
For
me
this.
what Mr. Dunn was
It's those
doing upon
overly
the day of his
long
death?
load screens.
But there is nothing very special to say. I was in the laboratory when I saw Mr. Dunn heading towards me. Tuesday is the day of his weekly visit. It was supposed to be at 9, but he was 10 minutes late, as usual.
And then?
Well, he came in to say good morning. Then I saw him spend 2 or 3 minutes by the plants outside the laboratory. After that, he ran out in the direction of the nursery, where Mr. Hamish was working. He was always in a rush during the inspection, you see. I would pity anyone who stood in his way.
And that was the last time you saw him?
Yes. I stayed in the laboratory until 20 minutes to 11, when I heard the cries of Albert and Mr. Hamish from the large glass house.
I joined them as soon as I could, for I knew that something must be very wrong.
What exactly were you doing in the laboratory?
I was recording an experiment for my thesis. I only stopped my work once when Mr. Hamish visited me briefly around 10 o'clock.
You say you were recording an experiment when the tragedy occurred. Might I listen to the roll?
Certainly. Please do. You will find it in the laboratory. It is number 320.
Thank you, miss.
Sometime later.
Everyone has gone, Holmes. The way is clear.
Oh. This place is confusing. I think I just jumped over Watson. Alright, let's just do what they want me to do.
When Montague Dunn was standing close by the plants, the caterpillars were released and caused the deadly spores to activate. Panicking, and likely already half asphyxiated, Montague Dunn started back and knocked over the bust. He rushed to the door, but it was locked. He had to force it open with his shoulder.
You're killing me, dog.
We know the outcome. Montague Dunn collapsed and died not far from the pool. Well, it is time to perform our experiment on the ventilation system.
Why do I keep going the wrong way? And Watson, if you do not get out of my way right now. Maybe it's the right way. I don't know which way I need to go. Probably both the same. I bet this is the right way, I just get confused. Not very uncommon.
According to this,
Alright. Totally the right. Nope, wrong way, but no worries. It's the right way for the ventilation system, so.
first of all, I need to visit the Colonial Collection Room to see how those caterpillars dropped onto the deadly plants.
I was already freaking there, you dicks! Oh my god. Yoink. 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 Yoink.
The caterpillars could only fall from the ventilation duct. Our caterpillars are in place. I'll activate the ventilation system so that they fall down. Watson, stay here and observe.
All right, Holmes.
The power is on. The engine cannot be started. The engine has started.
Is it loud enough?
The ventilation system is working.
Well, we know.
From here, we are unable to. We can see the interior of the Colonial Collection Room from this window. Excellent. This ventilation fan is working. Let us see if I can activate the other one. Perfect. Now I just need to find Watson to check the result.
No. Yes.
It works perfectly, Holmes. Bravo. Now, if you could just help me to get rid of these caterpillars.
Perfect. Now we know how the murder of Montague Dunn was carried out, by activating both Albert's and Mr. Hamish's fans.
But only from Mr. Hamish's workplace would it be possible to see when Montague Dunn entered the Colonial Collection Room.
Bowser, you're just putting your butt in my face. What is your deal? Hamish is guilty. What does it say? Martin Hamish could be the killer. He had the opportunity to steal the Divine Syndicate's plants and stimulate them from his workplace directly after he had locked Montague Dunn inside the Colonial Collection room. We'd have to effect the arrest of Martin Hamish before we can do anything. Interesting. This is a new twist for the game.
Let's go to Scotland Yard.
We shall not do that, my dear Watson. And why shall we not? Get out of my way, Watson! The reason we shan't do this is simple. I have something to listen to first. Since when do we go to Scotland Yard? Or maybe we need to get a confession out of him or something? Didn't say it was 320. We need roll 320. Where is cylinder 320? That's not it. I guess it would be in her lab, maybe? Where's roll 320? No rolls in here. It's Albert's work desk. Does she not have a work desk? I don't know where this thing is. I mean, I haven't seen another one lying around anywhere.
Miss White's locker.
Nope, it's not in here. I was hoping it was. Alright, well, let's just go to Scotland Yard then. Shit. This is a long one. The one in the number 3 was short.
Inspector, I believe that Martin Hamish is guilty of the murder of Montague Dunn.
Aha! I knew it. I'll send the lads around to arrest him.
Very good. I shall wait to hear from you.
Stop. Get your toy. Get your toy. Stop biting my foot. Get your toy. God. Have you gone quite insane? Have you gone loopy? Have you gone bonkers mad? No, get your toy. And there goes the... And here comes the sprint circles. What are you doing? You're holding me prisoner. Stop it. Bowser, no. hurting my feet.
Inspector, I came here as quickly as I could.
Martin Hamish is in the large glass house. There's no need to hurry.
Hamish is dead. What's the large? Is this the large glass house?
Holmes, my God!
Yes, we found him like that.
Our messing around with the ventilation system didn't go unnoticed. Mr. Hamish realized that we knew.
Inspector, could you arrange the body, please? I should like to examine it.
Well, it's a good thing I didn't think it was Hamish, because he's dead. Right, so we come over here to find out he committed suicide. And while we're here, that's the thing, is it takes an hour to get over here. It's probably the long way to go. What are you thinking about doing? Alright, so she's not here. They literally just had me wait 20 minutes. Not really 20 minutes. They had me wait up for that long load just to show me that he'd hung himself and then make me go back to Scotland Yard. We think that's mean, don't we, buddy? There you go. At least Scotland Yard loads quicker. WTF, did I just mess up? Where's this freaking body at? It's not in the morgue.
Locked.
Oh. For heaven's sake. Examine his body at reserve. At reserve? I just messed up. Now I gotta come back here. Was it just like laying there and I didn't turn around? I'll be less mad if that's the case. I like you better when you stop biting me. Now you're being just cute and laying there, and it's great. So you should always be. Foot hurts. Mr. Holmes.
Mr. Holmes?
Mr. Holmes. Yeah, the body was standing right next to me. I'm an idiot.
The mark around the neck is very visible. He died in...
Holmes, his left shoe is unique. This anomaly is often a characteristic of...
a club foot. Bravo, Watson. That is the key element of this case.
Wait, a club foot. It's the key element of the case, but it connects to nothing. What do you got here, buddy? Life has become a living hell. I find it unbearable. Dune deserved to die, but I cannot forgive myself for having his blood upon my hands. We Hamishish seem to have always fallen victim to our circumstance, and I find myself to be no exception. I must atone, and I shall do so, here and now. Farewell! No. Hamish confession. Typically, when Y is all it's left, that means that's all you've got left to do. So White studies deadly precision. Yes. Yes. White's knowledge. Miss White had the biological knowledge to stimulate the deadly plants. The knowledge Miss White acquired at the university might not be enough to guarantee the correct reaction to the deadly plants. I don't know. We never listened to her thing. Albert is not very good at botany. It is doubtful that he could have learned how the plants might release their deadly spores. No way Albert knew. Leaves club foot in the confession. Those go together? Martin Hamish was unable to run due to the tibial torsion in his club foot. Therefore, we should find out if he had sufficient time to lock the door of the Colonial Collection room and activate the ventilation system. Did he have an accomplice? Discuss with Lestrade the possible impact of new clues found on the body of Martin Hamish. Wow, this is getting to be a long one. Where are you at? That's not you, that's Watson. This is definitely a lot longer than the one before it. Holy crap.
Something about this rings very oddly.
Why do you say that, Mr. Holmes?
Why?
Bowser.
Because of Mr. Hamish's club foot.
Bowser, come here.
Deserved to be kicked from here to Charing Cross. I should have noticed it.
But, Mr. Holmes, I
Come on.
can't see why.
No, I don't suppose
I'm
you
worried
do.
the dog's about
You
to
must
turn the
recall
system
that
off with
Mr.
his
Dunn
nose.
was locked
Okay,
inside
he
the
walked away.
Colonial Collection room by the murderer. If it was Mr. Hamish, he would have had to run up to his workplace to trigger the fan situated above it, taking into consideration the condition of his foot.
Well,
No, I just
it is
wanted to
still
pet
possible.
you.
Perhaps, but it is rather strange that such a person as Mr. Hamish decided to base his plan on the speed of his gait.
You mean to say that somebody helped him?
So the suicide is questionable?
Correct. Mr. Hamish accuses only himself in his letter, and so the investigation stops.
Possibly an accomplice, then? That idea had not occurred to me, Mr. Holmes.
I have another idea, Inspector. Thanks to the testimony that we have collected, we are able to rebuild the events as they took place that day.
With a timeline, such as we did in the Jack the Ripper case.
Precisely.
The map at the entrance of Kew Gardens should help us with our timeline.
Alright, so now we're going to finally use the map. Just
Let
pick
us
us
analyze the facts and statements so that we may recreate
Can you
the events
pick
of that morning.
a spot. Oh, jeez. This is gonna be... Are you serious here? Albert Dunn. Martin Hamish. I don't remember. They told us all this. What? Really? This is just weird. So 9:20. So at this time, oops, he's supposedly in the nursery with Hamish. Well, you can assume Montague being poisoned is last. Hamish Montague, as they say. Albert in the seed house. Montague, what does it say? Montague and Hamish go into the backyard. It's around 20 minutes to 10 when Hamish and Montague went out to the backyard. After 10 minutes, Dunn recommended inspection, so this would probably go about here. Martin Hamish. It's White. So this is probably the first one. Albert meets Montague. Dunn recommended his inspection and entered the dry tropics room. What's it say? Turn this. Dunn went out to the backyard. After 10 minutes, Dunn recommended his inspection. And okay, so yeah, I was. Wait. 10 minutes. Dunn recommended his. Recommends. All right. Martin Hamish had a conversation with Miss White at 10 o'clock. Miss White was in the laboratory. Okay. Hamish ran until 10:40 when she saw Hamish and Albert in the water lily greenhouse and joined the three of them. That was at 10:40. Albert was in the seed house the entire morning. He observed Hamish returning from visiting Miss White at 10 minutes past 10. Okay. Martin Hamish returns to the seed house. Albert saw Hamish returning from the visiting Mrs. White. Something's not right here, but let's see how that goes. This is really weird. Hamish ran to Albert as soon as he observed that Montezut was not well.
Let us summarize. Montague Dunn was poisoned inside the Colonial Collection Room. He forced open the door, which means that someone locked him inside there at 10:20. Martin
Yes.
Hamish was last seen at 10:10. This means that he has approximately 10 minutes to lock the door of the Colonial Collection Room. Given that he was club-footed, it is doubtful. Albert also has 10 minutes to lock the door of the Colonial Collection Room, which is quite enough time. Miss White was last seen at 10 o'clock, which means that she had approximately 20 minutes to lock the door. More than enough time. Perfect, Watson. Now, let us ascertain who assisted Martin Hamish in killing Montague Dunn.
So you can say Hamish did it alone. You can say Hamish and White did it. You can say... I'm gonna tell you, the last one before this was super easy. This one I like a little more. Love how Albert's lack of experience. Well, considering that he's dead. Well, we can't even switch that, so all right. It's weird. Like, you can't really... Like, you can't change this. So there's... This is one of the first times that's ever happened, really, is that you can't change. That you can't change anything, so... Same. So that's gonna be the same thing. Because Hamish's opportunity cannot be messed with. He has the opportunity to stimulate the deadly plants in the colonial collector room. As a biologist, he would have the information. Like, there's no other switch there. So I can't assume that she has the knowledge. She has to have lack of experience. And so the options they're giving is either he did it alone, Hamish acted alone, or one of the other two parties are involved. And I still feel like I don't have all the evidence. I don't feel like I have all the evidence. Specifically because if we go and look at conversations, we can't specifically find people, alright? Yes, took place in the Seed House, alright. She says, this is the first time I've gone through the notes. He said, I loved his son dearly and he wanted the very best for him, blah, 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 blah. Oh, yes. Albert gave me a set of duplicate keys. He agreed I might carry out my studies without disturbing him. It's only temporary. The Vine Syndicate, does that name mean something? Not at all. Can you tell me where... Blah, 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 blah. I can, but there is nothing very special to say. I was in the laboratory when I saw Mr. Dunn heading towards me. Margaret White. Tuesday is the day of his weekly visit. It was supposed to be at 9, but he was 10 minutes late, as usual. And then, well, he came in, blah, 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 blah. And that was the last time you saw him? Yes. I joined them as soon as I could. What exactly were you doing in the laboratory? I was recording an experiment for my thesis. I only stopped my work once when Mr. Hamish visited me briefly around 10. You say you were recording an experiment when the tragedy occurred? Might I listen to the roll? Oh, certainly. Please do. You will find it in the laboratory. It is number 320. I don't feel like I have found that. It's in the laboratory, 320. Laboratory. I guess I have to watch it again, even though I don't have to, really.
Let us summarize. Martin, Miss White. Perfect, Watson. Now, let us ascertain who assisted Martin Hamish in killing.
Yes, let us. On my way. I need to go in the laboratory, which is right here. So somewhere in the laboratory is supposed to be this 320 phonograph. But the experiment is required. We have not found this experiment. We were told about it. We have not found it. So we must find it. See, there's evidence missing. I'm not happy about that. All right. 320.
Here it is.
That is what I wanted.
These plants, classified as shrubs or grasses, have adapted to their arid environment due to a system of underground roots.
This recording seems very long. It is unnecessary to listen to all of it. Miss White was in the laboratory, as she told us.
So I guess then what it comes down to is we don't think White did it. So the question is Albert involved? Martin Hamish killed Dunn for he believed he had ruined the lives of himself and his father. His revenge was at great cost. You would rather allow Scotland Yard to wrap it up and receive all glory. Ooh, a glory to Lestrade moment, huh? That tends to say no. I'm gonna go with definitely not. However, why would his son So we've ruled out Miss White, which only leaves Albert, and I don't think Mr. Clubfoot did it himself. I just don't understand why Albert would be involved. Like, a part of me just doesn't see why he'd be involved. Maybe they both wanted the position. I mean, why is he still there? That's what I don't understand. Alright, well. One last thing. Alright, so we're gonna go with Albert. Hamish definitely didn't do it alone. White is not involved, but Albert is. So, Albert Dunn killed his father in collaboration with Hamish, citing years of humiliation and frustration at his father dictating his life. We conclude that Albert is a cold-blooded murderer who deserves life in prison. Killing Dunn in collaboration with Hamish was the only way to end years of torment and humiliation. We can allow the police to believe it was Hamish alone, so Albert can go free. Whatever. I'm going with X. I'm going with my moral choice. Let's see what we get here. Unless there was some sort of evidence absconding Albert.
It was Albert who assisted Martin Hamish with the murder of his father, Montague Dunn, an act of desperation to end years of misery and humiliation.
Poor boy. You're right, Holmes. He was also a victim. He'll live the rest of his life with the death of his father on his conscience.
And that is enough. The case is closed, Watson. We can say officially...
No, I don't want
Martin
to go with
Hamish
this.
acted alone.
No, no. Absolutely not. No. No. Choose another ending. There's no. And here's why. I'm an idiot, but here's why. There's no way he acted alone. Or there's no way that he was a victim here. Because Hamish is dead. The man is dead. The guy is dead. And he didn't commit suicide. If he had committed suicide, a note would have said "we." Right? Isn't that the conversation Sherlock had said? Hold on, I gotta read that. Now I gotta go through that again too. Making this more difficult than it needs to be. Maybe gravy. It's just this case has taken me too long. I don't even know how long I've been playing it, but it's been a while. Let's see. Alright. Oh, no, before we do this. Before we do that, we want to check one thing. So we're going to go back to conversations. This would have been in... the large glass room. Okay. Keep going. What? No. Sherlock Holmes, something about this is very oddly Lestrade. Why do you say that? No, I don't suppose that you do. You must recall that Mr. Dunn was locked inside the criminal collection room. If it was Mr. Hamish, he would have had to run up the blah 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 alone. Well, that's still possible, perhaps, but it is rather strange that such a person as Mr. Hamish decided to base his plan on this speed of his gait. So its suicide is questionable. Correct. Mr. Hamish accuses only himself in his letter. And so the investigation stops. Yeah, alright, so that being said, here's what we're gonna do. We are gonna go with Albert as an accomplice. We can't go with anyone else. Like, you can't go with Albert being innocent and like the other, because a part of me wants to do the that weird sect as being involved. But if you put that the sect is involved, it makes Hamish's opportunity null and void. And that's like that has to be. Like, there's the sect just basically is part of the story but not involved, I guess. So, like, I don't know a way of making the sect involved and Hamish being a part of it. So we're going with Albert. And since Hamish is dead, we are condemning Albert here. Albert killed his father in collaboration with Hamish, citing years of humiliation and frustration. Albert and then deserves life in prison because then he killed Hamish. Is that like, does no one care that he killed that guy? I'm condemning you, man. I'm a justice seeker on this one. Oh, I'll be right back. Alright, let's see how we feel. I mean, I'm going with this regardless. There's no change in my mind from here. This is it. This is the moment of truth.
What happened, Inspector?
It's all over now, lad. There is no use denying it. We know that you murdered your father. Patricide by plant poisoning. Very alliterative.
What? You're mad. I didn't do it. I don't know anything about botany. No.
What? That's it? I said I was gonna go with it regardless. But that ending does not make me feel like he did it. This is what it says. Albert Dunn killed his own father in collaboration with Hamish, citing years of humiliation, deep frustration, and father's discouragement in joining the Navy. He was the one who locked the door of the Colonial Collection room directly after Hamish released the caterpillars. He did not hesitate to sacrifice Hamish to try to cover himself. You have concluded that Albert is cold-blooded murderer who should be placed behind bars. I don't like it. Because I want the... How's the syndicate not involved? I got 3 plants from the syndicate. I don't think this is right. It says that a clue's found. 22. Albert is an accomplice. And condemned Albert. I'm going to check it here in 3, 2, 1. It is wrong! It is wrong. Oh God, it's not right. So, I was wrong. That's... like I said, doesn't feel right, but I don't... I don't get it. Okay, hold on. So we're gonna choose another ending. I told you it didn't feel right. Wouldn't be the first one I got wrong. Told you it didn't feel right, but I'd made so many decisions. Oh, the failure. This is the first one since this is the first time since the very first case when I didn't know what was going on that I feel very conflicted about all the information given. I feel like there's stuff left out. Like, I feel the evidence we collected says that White couldn't be involved. You know, I didn't really feel like Albert would be involved, but the whole clubfoot and suicide note thing. So the only other options are, unless there's just something I can do. Because the only way to get that Hamish is guilty is if the sect is not involved. So, and the thing said that White was working on the experiment. We found the little thing that said she was working on the experiment. It says she couldn't be involved. So if that's the case, I mean, we're saying Hamish did it alone with his clubfoot and all, but Sherlock made such a big deal. About that whole clubbed foot and him having an accomplice. Ugh. See, that can't be because the sect would have to be involvement. Theft and murder. The killer may be those who stole the exotic plants, including the deadly species. Albert has motive to kill his father, but Albert has lack of experience. And Hamish better be involved. Like, if Hamish wasn't involved and we killed the man, Hamish has to be involved. The question is White involved? We say White is not involved. Social situation were completely dependent upon Montague Dunn's wealth. Miss White and Mr. Dunn had a recent disagreement. Montague Dunn was planning to release Miss White from her position at Kew Gardens. I don't think White did it. I really don't. But she definitely had time to help. I think he must have just done it alone. But, like, the options it gives when he did it alone are the same options I saw earlier, which is, like, give Lestrade the glory or Trump the... And that option makes me think that that's not the right option. Because it wasn't the right option earlier, it just seems too obvious. Like I said, that could be me overthinking it. But White didn't have time to do it. So, are they saying White was in her thing the whole time? But then again, I don't know.
But Holmes, how can you be certain that we'll find Miss White here?
It is obvious, Watson. Just use your brain.
Okay, so White is obviously involved.
I do use it.
This is obviously the right answer.
Now that the rope has tightened around Martin Hamish, Miss White must act to erase all traces of her implication.
Oh yeah, there were the...
After the suicide of her accomplice, there is one final trace remaining. The deadly plants of the Divine Syndicate. She will be there.
Very good. Shall we go?
Just one moment. Now listen to me, Watson. I shall see her alone. You will conceal yourself behind her, quietly.
Whatever are you planning?
Nothing spectacular. The impulses of women have always been a mystery to me, but she is a bold one, and so we must be cautious.
Obviously White's involved.
Right. You can count on me.
Which would have been my first guess, but the thing said she was in the laboratory the whole time. Boo to this game.
Mr. Holmes, good day to you.
You do not seem surprised, Miss White.
Well, I was expecting you.
Not for too long, I believe. So please tell me, as it is still unclear, who planned the murder? Was it you?
You were wrong, Mr. Holmes.
It was Martin Hamish, then. You managed to convince him to take on a more prominent role.
You could not be further from the truth.
You think that you can fool me?
You don't care what I think.
It is difficult to care about someone who is capable of pushing a man to his suicide. It is over, Miss White. The police will be here any minute.
Over, perhaps. One moment you were here, and the next, you were on the other side.
The other side? No! Stop! I beg you not to do this, Miss White.
Don't come any closer.
Please remain calm. We can help you.
Not one step further. Don't try to stop me.
Stop this foolishness. You cannot truly want to die.
No, it's too late.
Yoink! Yoink! Hiya! I knock it out of your
Well
hand 'cause
done.
I'm Watson.
She was not faking.
Miss White, you have no right to take your own life.
Dr. Watson? Did you just save me? Or worse?
Miss White is dangerous woman. That has to be the right answer. That is the right answer. So I don't understand why we got that evidence. We got that evidence. We are a justice seeker again. Well, I had to get it wrong before I got it right, which was sad. Achievement unlocked. Deadly Flower. Finished the Kew Gardens case. So, we have a Half Moon Walk. That's the next case. I am not playing that right now. I am done. I am done. If I feel like playing it later, maybe. What is tomorrow? Thursday? I work in the morning, so probably not. But who knows? Maybe I'll come back and play. But until next time,